morning, everyone. And how are you this morning? Hope some of you are feeling a little better. It's been kind of a weird time, hasn't it? With certain stars being in certain places, the moon being in kind of a weird place. I think we've all been feeling just a little off. But the good news is now the moon is back in its home, and that little weird feeling should be over. A lot of things should be very clear now. And just to get you up to speed, I've selected for today the Viking Tarot, or Viking Oracle rather, sorry. Spirit Animal Oracle, naturally. Runes of the Gods Oracle, of course. And Wild Unknown Tarot and Sacred Rebels Oracle for today. So we're going to get a little bit of a brutally honest look at what's going on. Maybe get a little honesty about what's going on with ourselves. What we need to know, what we need to fix maybe. Who knows? And of course you all know what tomorrow is. Tomorrow is the big one. Tomorrow is Full Scale Friday, where you get to see a full reading. We do those every Friday. Those are very general. But if you would like one personally, you know how to get one. It's very simple. If you want one for free, bring a friend along, have that friend subscribe. You must also be a subscriber. And if the friend you bring along to subscribe names you, well, both of you get a free reading. That's one question, and we knock it out sometime over the weekend or whenever I have a day off. That's usually when I do them. If you don't have a friend to bring along, you can always throw me a little something off my Amazon wish list. It could be as little as a $10 book, a new tarot cloth, however you want to do it. And you get two personal readings, so 2 questions to be redeemed at any time, plus a birthday reading. And if you throw me a deck, I use the deck you send. So, if you're interested, that's a good way to do it. So let's get down to it, shall we? For today, we picked up the 9 worlds again. So we still have to be very mindful of our approaches today. Also, for the guide, we have the halls. So what we're sacrificing is usually for something a little bit greater. Not so much the greater good this time, but more of a greater reward. Sometimes that reward can be beneficial for others as well. For your spirit animal, big old elephant spirit, telling us to learn from our past. I know right now many of you are thinking, ooh, past mistakes are failures. Well, remember, yesterday was about getting out of the confines of the 4-walled classroom and into the classroom of life. Putting your newfound skills, talents, and abilities to use outside of your comfort space. Kind of get out of that comfort space because you're ready. You're ready to be unsheathed, as it were. Now, that could have gone either way. If you failed, there's a lesson in it to be learned. And if you succeeded, now it's time to look at what worked. Either way, Learning from your past makes everything today that much stronger. And if you keep doing it, you can carry it over into tomorrow. Moving right along, we have, it looks to be, this is a Son of Pentacles, which I think the Sun cards are like the Knights. I don't work with this deck very often, so. We also have Temperance. Quite a colorful little card there. These cards are not very colorful, and they're formed just a little bit different. But we also have the Fool. So let's break this down. What are we being told here? Now, with this Sun or Knight of Pentacles or coins, however you want to put it, this is very slow moving energy. We're taking our time, we're assessing physical matters, and that's our current situation. Also, there was something else in here. This is also a maturity of sorts. But moving into the action is Temperance. We really got to kind of moderate things, don't we? We can't really lean too much of one way or the other. Not today. If we're being brutally honest with ourselves, taking a stance too hard one way or the other, really it never works out. And much like this particular bird is doing, we have to kind of reach across a little bit. And it may very well be painful. But doing that leads right into this, which is taking on that new adventure, that new little opportunity that you can see, and doing it with a bit of wonder. The wonder of maybe someone very young. We're ready to get stretch our wings out and fly. It's not, you can't stay in the nest forever. And if some of you have a little bit of a problem launching on any given issue, today is the day to do it. Right here we have Pandora's Gift. Softly, softly the tender touch, and focus on the light. Yeah, that's an interesting bit of the reading that's given me a lot more clarity. Starting off with Pandora's Gift. This is one I've never seen before, so honestly I'm kind of wondering exactly what that is. What exactly is Pandora's Gift? I want to say it's hope. Because in the story of Pandora's box, she opens it up, unleashes the troubles of the world, and she closes the lid on hope. And Pandora, it was her curiosity that got the better of her. But that's our curious nature. We're yearning to conquer chaos, evil, and darkness with the light of knowledge. Now this is the helpful voice of our soul that asks the questions, and in doing so triggers the process that brings the answers. Sometimes it's through uncomfortable learning. Remember what I said about temperance here. This is going to be a bit uncomfortable. It's through uncomfortable learning that we find our treasure, and Pandora reminds us that the process of learning can take us to places that seem like the end of our world. And yet all is not lost. Even now the light that is within you stirs for new revelation, new life, and new adventure. So Pandora's just kind of letting us know that, you know, even the most painful things. And right here, pointing at that elephant spirit, learning from the past, we're we're engaging in a little sacrifice by kind of facing an old pain without reopening the old wound. But we're facing it, we're not living in it. Does that make sense? Now, kind of going back here on that soft and gentle touch there. You're at a point in your life where you want to attain greater things, but you don't necessarily have a proportionally greater supply of energy at your disposal. So at this point, it's time to work a little smarter, not necessarily harder. Because right here, we're learning about the painful lessons, right? But there's something in there that we need. And those painful lessons, those moments of where we had doubt, those are going to carry us. So, see, we're generally taught that the more force we use, the more we try to make things happen, the more we will achieve. But that's not really going to be our way today. It's not about driving, striving, pushing, grabbing what we can in order to create. It's about inviting what we wish to come into the space that we've provided for it internally and in our lives. So this method cultivates more energy, causes less stress, and attracts what is desired. It is manifestation by invitation rather than by will or force. So there's an old story. The sun and the wind were debating over who was the strongest. And they saw a man in a coat, and the wind said, "I can blow that coat off of him." And the wind blew and blew and blew, harder and harder, and the man just shrugged his coat around him a little more. Finally, the sun just kept shining and shining and shining and shining brighter and brighter until it became so hot that the man took his coat off. You can see both played to their strengths, but one tried to solve the problem by brute force rather than by just working a little smarter. Finally, we have this card. Focus on the light. So this is everything that lights you up. This is everything that motivates, drives, and inspires you. And this is where your focus needs to be today. Just focus on it. This is sort of that keep your eye on the prize kind of card. Whatever it is you're trying to manifest in your own life, that's what your greatest desires, the things that you really want to do the things that you want to manifest, the world that you want to create. That's where your focus needs to be today. And finally, for the runes, we have Caniz. We have Avaz again. And we have Perthro. So, sorry. Caniz is literally the torch. You can tell that by that little flame right there in the background. But it's also enlightenment and fulfillment. But what makes Caniz so special is that we're awakening our mind. We have new ideas, friendships, and happy relationships. I'm thinking this is more that the new ideas, that bright idea that you've got. It's a good idea to go ahead and kind of get with that. And with Awaz, literally translating to yew tree. So, are you finding your purpose yet? Because if you got your purpose well in mind, this is what leads to that growth. And as you grow into trust with others, and you can transition from one state into another. And then we've got Perthro. This is also known as fate, however. Literally, it's a dice cup. And you can see that when I turn it sideways. Dice cups were used. You pop some dice in there. You put your fingers over it. You shake them, and then you let your fingers open, and the dice roll. But this one is about your intuition. Sooner or later, you're going to have to let it guide you. You're going to have to trust your gut, and you're going to have to go with it. Sooner or later. That is solely up to you. So the question is, when are you? If not today, then when? Because your gut will never guide you wrong. Sometimes your gut does, in fact, lead you to failure, because there's a lesson there for you to learn. When was the last time your gut led you wrong? There's a question to ask. Look back. Again, learn from the past. Look at that elephant. The elephant never forgets. Remember that one? But today is your day. Today's your day to trust your intuition. And when you're told not to make such rash decisions without considering everything first, this is what it means. That's the summary. Don't make such rash decisions today. Really carefully weigh it out a little bit. Take that extra moment. If you need to, breathe. Get your mind quiet. Listen to that small, still voice, because its advice is anything but small. And trust it. Go with it. Watch what happens. Work a little smarter today, rather than hard. In any case, gotta get out of here and get this into the thing to be edited. Thank you again so much for joining me. I love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up. And as always, my friends, family, and neighbors, shine on.